Jai Ram, Ram Madhava, Kunja Vihari. Jai Ram, Madhava, Kunja Vihari, Gopijana
Bhagavatam ki. Vous parlez français ou anglais? You speak English?
Un peu français.
Français. Et vous parlez tous français ou anglais?
Je parle un petit peu français.
Vous parlez français? Anglais?
Un petit peu.
So, you want me to give in English or French? Where's the Srimad Bhagavatam? I need it.
Which language you prefer, French or français ou English? English? Everybody English?
Little much.
Sorry?
Little much.
Okay, English, no problem.
English? No.
English. Okay.
So then, read first.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Actually, this is, which verse is this?
Le 21. 8:21.
9, 10, 16 today.
It's wrong verse.
Totally wrong.
Wrong verse on the board.
Definitely.
Oh, it may be very old.
Okay, so 9, 10, 16, the pastimes of Lord Ramachandra. Bodh Badvam
Badvam
Udado
Udaro
Raghupati
Raghupati
Vividha
Vividha
Adrikute
Adikute
Badvo Dado
Badvodaro
Raghupati
Raghupati
Vividadri
Vividari
Kute
Kute
Bavodado Raghupati Vividadri Kute Bavodado Raghupati Vividadri Kute Setum
Setum
Kapindra
Kapindra
Kara
Kara
Kampita
Kampita
Puru Hange
Kuruange
Setum
Setum
Kapindra Kara
Kapindra Kara
Kampita
Kampita
Buruhange
Kuruange
Sugriv
Sugriv
Nil
Nil
Hanumat
Hanumat
Pramukhe
Pramukhe
Anike
Anike
Sugriv Nil
Sugriv Nil
Hanumat
Hanumat
Pramukhe
Pramukhe
Anike
Anike
Lankam
Lankam
Vibhishan
Vibhishanti
Drisha Vishat
Visha
Agradagdam
Aradadam
Lankam
Lankam
Vibhishan
Vibhishan
Drisha Vishat
Visha
Agradagdam
Aradadam
Badva,
Badva
after constructing
After constructing
Udado
Udado
in the water of the ocean,
in the water of the ocean
Raghupati,
Raghupati
Lord Ramachandra,
Lord Ramachandra
Vividha,
Vivida
varieties of
varieties of
Adrikute,
Adikute
with peaks of great mountains. Setum,
Setum
a bridge.
a bridge
Kapindra,
Kapindra
of powerful monkeys.
of powerful monkeys
Karakampita,
Karakampita
moved by the great hands.
moved by great hands
Buruha Onge,
Gururange
with the trees and plants.
with the trees and plants
Sugriv,
Sugriv
Sugriv,
Sugriv
Nil,
Nil
Nil,
Nil
Hanumat,
Hanumat
Hanuman,
Hanuman
Pramukhe,
Pramukhe
led by
led by
Anike,
Adike
with such soldiers.
with such soldiers
Lankam,
Lankam
Lanka, the kingdom of Brahman.
Lanka the kingdom of Rama
Vibhishandrisha,
Vibhishan Visha
by the direction of Vibhishan,
by the direction of Vibhishan
the brother of Brahman.
brother of Rama
Avishat
Avisha
entered
entered
Agradagdam,
Agradadam
which was previously burned
which was
by the monkey soldier Hanuman.
by the monkey soldier Hanuman.
Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Shukdev Goswami said, after constructing a bridge over the ocean by throwing into the water the peaks of mountains whose trees and other vegetation had been shaken by the hands of great monkeys, Lord Ramchandra went to Lanka to release Sita Devi from the clutches of Ravana. With direction of and help of Vibhishan, Ravan's brother, the Lord, along with the monkey soldiers, headed by Sugriv, Nil and Hanuman, entered Ravan's kingdom, Lanka, which had previously been burnt by Hanuman. Purple. Great mountain peaks covered with trees and plants were thrown into the sea by the monkey soldiers and began to float by the supreme will of the Lord. By the supreme will of the Lord, many great planets float weightlessly in space like swabs of cotton. If this is possible, why should great mountains, peaks not be able to float on water? This is the omnipotence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He can do anything and everything he likes because he is not under the control of material nature. Indeed, material nature is controlled by him. Maya Dakshina Prakriti Suyate Satcharacharam. Only under his direction does Prakriti or material nature work. Similar information is given in the Brahma Samhita. Yasya Gyaya Brahmati Sambrita Kala Chakro Govinda Madhi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Describing how material nature works, the Brahma Samhita says that the sun moves as desired. The Brahma Samhita says that the sun moves as desired by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Consequently, for Lord Ramachandra to construct a bridge over the Indian Ocean with the help of monkey soldiers who threw great mountain peaks into the water is not at all wonderful. It's wonderful only in the sense that it has kept the nature, the name and fame of Lord Ramachandra eternally celebrated. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Sharu Swaminati Namine Snigdha Chita Supanita Vaiminam Shara Saputam Prabhupada Gata Pramam Nami Bhakti Charupanam Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminati Namine Namaste Sarasvati Deve Gurvani Pracharine Niveshesha Shunyadi Pashatyas Deshatarine Swagatam Swagatam. So today we will discuss briefly about the class and we will discuss also, Lord Krishna willing, about Raghunandan Thakur and Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj, whose disappearance day is today. So how come the stones floated on the Indian Ocean when the monkeys and all, they threw, even the squirrels, they threw the stones in the sea? Why did it float? We can be interactive.
Because they wrote in the name of Lord Ram.
Very good. So just by writing Abhinadvam Nami Naminoho, just by writing the name of Lord Ram on the stones, you know the story, yeah? Ram. Just by writing the names, they floated. Prabhupada is saying here, is that a feat in and of itself? Huh? Weightlessly, the locusts, the planets are floating in space, weightlessly, just like cotton swabs. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur explained that actually the planets are linked by cords. You know that? Cords. Cords means ropes. The transcendental ropes, subtle ropes. And sometimes the wind is so powerful, we are thinking the wind here on this planet is heavy. What to speak in the outer space. the wind is so heavy that sometimes it breaks the ropes asunder. And all this to say that this is actually the representation of Mahashankarshan. And we said Newton is credited for having found the gravity. We have to tilt our hat to him to some extent, but everything comes from, yes, Prabhu?
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I think most of them speak French, so.
But I ask around and
They're not Prabhu, I understand.
It's okay? It's okay.
it's up to you. Je peux parler en français si vous voulez. Je peux faire les deux.
No, it's like
C'est vous qui m'avez dit. Hein.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
It's up to you. Ça va, Christopher, in
Yeah,
English?
Non, mais c'est pas grave.
Tu comprends l'anglais?
C'est pas important.
Okay. Anyway, I can do both otherwise. So, actually the gravitation law, the gravity law is orchestrated by Lord Shankarshan. But when it comes down to the mortal realm of humans, they are credited Newton, Isaac Newton. He saw an apple fell from the tree, and he figured out there must be a law behind it. And he was right, of course. So, Parasya Shakti, Vivideva Shuyate, Svabhaviki Gyanabala Kriyacha. Parasya Shakti, numerous energies are being deployed. They are being cast around, and they are being spread. Sequentially, and automatically, the energies of the Lord are being deployed. Parasya Shakti Vivideva Shuyate, Svabhaviki Gyanabala Kriyacha. So even though Ekadesh Stitasya Gner, Jushta Vishtarini Yataha, just like the sun is located in one place, yet the heat and the light spread around the creation. So in the same way, Goloka Nivasati Akilatma Bhuta, even though Krishna is in Golok, he's also here, but he's also in Golok, his energies, Ashintya Shakti, they account for the transformation of the material creation. And this is the downfall of the Mayavadis. They cannot figure it out. They are thinking, if there is transformation, there must be adulteration. There must be contamination. If Brahman transforms, there's something wrong. Because Brahman is homogeneous, is nirakar, nirvishesh for them. But little do they understand, and this is their foolish Mayavad. Mayavad means the path of Maya. Little do they understand that actually, when the energy is transformed, Lord Krishna is aloof. Is in Golok, reveling in pastimes of love with his devotees. He's not affected by the changing of the Ashintya Shakti. You follow? Ce que je veux dire, c'est que c'est vraiment la base de notre philosophie. Hein. Les énergies du Seigneur se transforment, mais lui ne se transforme pas pour autant. Vous comprenez? And they don't speak neither English neither French, actually. That's a different story. Okay, so I cannot speak more than that because I only master 2 languages. So I'll give you an example. If you see the car of your neighbor heading down the street, you're going to say, oh, this is the car of John. Because your neighbor is called John, right? So you see his car driving down the street. Oh, this is John's car. But actually, it may not be even John driving the car presently. But you relate the energy of John, the car belongs to John. You don't say, oh, this is a car. You say, this is John's car. You understand? So in the same way, everything belongs to God, but when his Ashintya Shakti are in motion, he himself is doing something else. You follow? Lorsque les énergies de Krishna se transforment, lui fait autre chose. Just like Bill Gates, just they can need Tom, Dick, and Harry like Bill Gates. He's Microsoft, Mr. Microsoft. Everything is happening kind of smoothly in his companies, but he himself is playing golf in the Bahamas Island or somewhere. You follow? So it doesn't mean because your energies, your Shaktis are doing one thing, because you set up into motion, that you have to do necessarily the same thing. Comprenez? Les énergies de Krishna peuvent agir indépendamment de Krishna. Ashintya Shakti. So that is why for Lord Krishna, Lord Ramachandra, it's a piece of cake to have the stones float about the surface of the ocean, to have the locusts weightlessly moving about on their orbit. It's just a feat of his Shaktis at work. Okay, so let's discuss about, because when we discuss Bhagavat book, Bhagavat person is all the same. So Raghunan Thakur is a great, great soul. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he had, of course, when he was going to school, just like when we went to school, you have classmates. One of his classmates was Mukundadat. Mukundadat, he had three brothers. They were brothers. Madhav Das, and Narahari Sarkar Thakur. Narahari Sarkar Thakur is very well known. He's the Shiksha Guru of Srinivasacharya. Nana Shastra Vicharane Kanipuno Sadharma Samstapako. This song was penned by Srinivasacharya, a very great personality. And he had two wives actually. And Narahari Sarkar was his Shiksha Guru. He was initiated by Gopal Bhatta Goswami, Srinivasacharya. So Narahari Sarkar was the only devotee who could glorify Mahaprabhu as Vishnu. Anyone else would call Mahaprabhu Vishnu, Mahaprabhu would block his ears and he would tell him, "You are an offender." And when we sing in the evening Gaurarati, Narahari, who is that Narahari? This is Narahari Sarkar. He's a contemporary of Mahaprabhu, he's very close associate. Only person who can glorify Mahaprabhu as the Supreme. So what happened? These three brothers, Sri Madhav Das, Narahari Sarkar, Mukundadat. Mukundadat was a classmate of Mahaprabhu. So the story is happening in Sri Khand. Sri Khand is Bengal or Bangladesh perhaps. So this boy, Raghunandan Thakur, today is disappearance day. Listen to his feet. His amazing personality. The father is already a great soul. What to speak of the son? Just listen. So they all live in Sri Khand. And they were serving their deities, Lord Gopinath, with great love and great care. They are Vishnu Parikar. We have to understand when the Lord appears, Janma Karma Chamedivyam Evam Yuveti Tadvataha. All the Janma and Karma of the Lord are totally transcendental. What to speak of is eternal associates. They come before, they come during the sojourn of the Lord, they come after. So these great souls, they are Parshadas. Parshada means Yagir Sankirtan prayer Yajanti Hi Sumedasaha. Those who are intelligent, they will glorify Mahaprabhu and the Panchatattva. Parshad, Sangu Pangastra Parshadam. Mahaprabhu comes with his Parshad. It's not like rifles and weapons, you know. His weapons are Parshadas. Mahaprabhu says, any one of my associates can liberate the Brahmanda in one blink of an eye. Prabhupada is on that level. One blink of an eye, the whole Brahmanda is liberated. This is the power of Parshadas. So we are in the house of Mukunda Das, in Srikhand. They are worshipping Lord Gopinath, and Mukunda Das had some errand to run. He had to go for the day. He told his little boy, five-year-old boy, he told him, you please take over the puja that day. You have seen me worshipping, offering the bowl. For many generations they had been worshipping this Lord Gopinath in that family. Generations. So he told the boy, you please take over, offer with love, and make sure he eats. So he went out. The boy is Raghunandan. He's very much diligent to his father. He offers to Lord Gopinath. The mother is cooking. He offers, please eat. And of course, we are sometimes pujari, we offer. When we come back and pick up the food, is it there or not there?
There.
It is there. It doesn't mean, be careful, we should not draw hasty conclusions. Doesn't mean the Lord hasn't eaten. Angani yasya sakalendriya vitimanti. By any one of his organs, he can replace any other functions of any other organs. It's a piece of cake for him. To eat with his eyes, he can beget children with his eyes, and when he casts his glance on Pradhan, with the Kala Shakti inside the halo, with the Jiv inside, that will transform the Pradhan into Mahatattva. So, the boy is on first degree, 5-year-old boy, you function as on the first degree of life. Eat, he's got to eat. So then he's pushing the deity, you got to eat, you have to eat. And he's crying, shedding tears. And Lord Gopinath is so much moved by the sheer, pure love of the boy, Raghunandan. He's eating. And the boy is not astonished. This is basically what my father told me. He has to eat. This is first degree devotion. You don't speculate. There's no mind in between. This is the fulfillment of my father's order. He's eating, fine. Morning, evening time, Mukunda Das coming back. Please bring some prasad. Well, you told me to offer. Make sure he ate. He ate it all. So Mukunda Das is totally dumbstruck, awestruck, dumbfounded, and he's kind of brushing aside the moment and the event in and of itself. But still that goes, it's working his mind, for the next few days. So next time he's just conceiving of a little plan in his mind, in his head. Oh, my boy, I have to go again. You make sure, again, you make sure he eats, take over the puja that day. But from a little distance afar, he's hiding himself. Same story, the boy, my dear Lord Gopinath, please eat. Again, the deity is eating, Sri Gopinath is eating. But from afar you can see, this Mukunda Das is hidden. So he stops on the way. And you can still see the deity. If you go to Srikhand, I've seen it. The deity is like this. He froze. When he saw Mukunda Das, he froze. The boy was okay. For him, it's natural. Shortly after that, Mahaprabhu is walking down the street in Navadvip. Who's coming on the other side with his son? Mukundadas and his son, little boy. Mahaprabhu is omniscient. Who is the father? Who is the son? Mukundadas, he got the point. This is the father. I'm the son. So nothing to do with age. Huh? We have seen Prahlad, Dhruv, they are five. This Raghunandan Thakur, such an elevated soul. Further down the line, he was adult by then. He had some fits of ecstasy. He had some, it's called nupur, when you, the ankle bell. In Sanskrit you say nupur, I think. He was dancing mad. His nupur was thrown a few miles away. Just imagine how much he was twirling. A few miles away, they found his nupur. So he's totally transcendental personality. So Mukundadas, when that happened, he took his boy on the lap and he was shedding tears of love on the boy. And you are such a great soul. Raghunandan Thakur was responsible also to marry Srinivasacharya with Draupadi. There was one devotee called Gopal Chakravarti, and Srinivas was very young in those days, and he saw this beautiful lady, Draupadi, and he fell in love with her. So he asked actually Raghunandan Thakur was already adult by then. He arranged the marriage of Srinivasacharya. He had two wives, Srinivasacharya, Draupadi and another lady, I forgot. Okay, this is Raghunandan Thakur. And also today is the disappearance day of? That's much closer to us.
Yes.
When did he live?
Last century.
At the beginning of the 12th century.
Very good, Prabhu. He lived same time as Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So another great soul. It's mind-boggling. We are in Baleshwar, it's northern Orissa, on Janmashtami. And at midnight, this great soul, Mahabhagwat, Vamsidas Babaji, is saying, Gopal, Gopal. He had some deities, I will tell you now. Last year, I offered you some palm fruits. This year, I shall give you some mango. He's speaking to his deities, just like we are conversing now. Don't be impatient, Gopal. Just wait. Mango is coming. Within 10 minutes, a Brahman teacher, his name was Yogendra Mukherjee, he dreamt that a sadhu needs a mango. He's bringing the mango. He's coming out of his house. He walks a little bit, and he came across the kutir of this great sadhu. This is the mango, my dear sir. And then Bhaktisiddhanta Babaji is offering the mango. So you can see, and the Lord is called Satya Sankalpa. Satya Sankalpa means what? It's the name of Krishna.
Satisfies desire.
His desires are automatically fulfilled on the spot. It's not like, I want to go to India, you have to collect, you have to take time off your work, you have to ask your wife permission, or perhaps they go together. It's a whole jazz of going to, just one little going to India. But the pure devotee is on that level, Satya Sankalpa. I'll give you a mango, Gopal, be patient. Mango is coming out practically through the door. So this is Vamsidas Babaji. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to beseech his blessings. You understand? Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to crave for the blessings of Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj. So when they very seldom met, Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj used to tell, oh, a very close friend of Gaur is coming. When he would see Bhaktisiddhanta coming his way. a very close friend of Gaur. He used to call Mahaprabhu Gaur. Very casually, because they are so close. You will see how close they are. He is to his deities. A very close friend of Gaur is coming. So he was a Gaudiya sadhu. He lives in Swarupganj. If you've been to Mayapur, Swarupganj is very close. You have seen, you cross the Jalangi, you are in Swarupganj. He was extremely respected by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to provide him with grains. He would tell one of his brahmacharis, you please go and deliver some food, some grains to him every day. So one day, a lady selling fish, she's approaching Vamsidas Babaji, and she's showing to him some choices type of fish. This is a very good fish, Baba. So then, out of nowhere, Vamsidas Babaji, he has an attraction to tasting fish. We have to understand these personalities are avadut. Avadut means?
Above rules and regulation.
Above rules and regulations.
They are totally beyond social conventions. Who else was an avadut? Nityananda Prabhu. At the end of his life, another great soul, is himself Vishnu, Lord Rishabdev. Rishabdev. The Avantika Brahman in the 11th canto. They are avaduts. They are totally beyond social convention. You cannot relate to them. Pundarik Vijanidhi in one sense also. Anyway, back to the story. This lady fish, please, Baba, this is paka fish. And he's getting some attraction for the fish. So then he just shakes himself a little bit. And he's shouting at the girl, at the lady, please go. Then he relates to himself. How could this happen? My Gaur is supposed to protect me. I'm under his protection. How could that be? Then he went back to his bhajan kutir. He stormed into the kutir. He's got deities of Radha Krishna, Gaunitai, and Gopal. And people can see he's fuming, he's fussing about, fuming about. He's angry. He comes out from his bhajan kutir with, he has tied the deities to a rope. He has tied the deities to the rope. And he threw the deities in the water, in the Ganga. And he's keeping the end of the rope under his foot to make sure they don't come out. You understand? Then one person is coming to find out what's going on. He's throwing a rock at the guy. This is Avadut. So then the news reached the Yoga Pit. Who was living at the Yoga Pit in those days? You have been? Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is telling his brahmacharis, you never go back there. Only the brahmachari who brings the food, you can only go. Everyone else, you don't go. A few days go by. Bhaktisiddhanta is telling his disciples, do you think I told you not to go because he's in Maya? He's so advanced, you cannot even relate to him. Don't even poke your nose. Don't even get close to him. One devotee of Bhaktisiddhanta, disciple, went back. Vamsidas Babaji is telling him, you never return here in your life. Totally, it's mind-boggling behavior. Sometimes he would welcome you. He would accept gift. Sometimes he would throw the gift that you gave to him in the Ganga. So again, we can Vaishnavera Kriya Mudra, Vigyana Bujai. Even the most intelligent cannot fathom the acts of a pure devotee. What to speak of that kind of caliber devotee? Even Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is telling his boys, don't go. And those boys became Sridhar Swami, Puri Maharaj, they themselves Mahabhagat also. So we cannot relate. Now Kapoor, Dr. Kapoor was a god brother of Srila Prabhupada, himself initiated by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He has written a book, The Saints of Bengal, and he discusses at length about Vamsidas Babaji. He's saying he's a Siddha Mahatma. Siddha Mahatma means the highest order of devotees. Siddha Mahatma, Mahabhagavad. He's coming in the line of Narottam Das Thakur. His Diksha Guru was Harilal Brajbasi. And he took Vesh. In those days, we have to understand that prior to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, practically sannyasya was not the norm in Gaudiya. Even when you look at Mahaprabhu, practically all the associates, they were sannyasis or grihastha? Mostly grihastha. Sannyas, even Tridandi sannyas was rare. A few, like Gadadhar Pandit, others, Mahaprabhu, of course. Then, also, of course, his secretary, whose name is Swarup Damodar Gosai. Thank you, Prabhu. But in general, no sannyas. In those days, prior to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the devotee at the fag end of their life, they would take Vesh, Babaji Vesh. They would wear white. They consider white is immaculate. Because it's a fact, sannyas is within the realm of Varnashram, isn't it? So, for that matter, it's still within the confines of Varnashram, so it's not the highest order. For many centuries it was like this. Even back to Thakur in 1915, he took Vesh. Vesh means the Babaji dress, white, pure white. He took Vesh from Gaur Kishore, Babaji Maharaj. So this Vamsidas also was a Babaji, not sannyas. In one sense it's higher. Bhaktisiddhanta restored the sannyas order. Why? For preaching, number one. Yes, Christopher? For preaching, definitely.
And because Babaji started to use their position as they have to serve, so he installed sannyas to become, the devotees become more serious on their devotional sadhana practice.
Excellent. This is a very good point. It's safer. We have to understand, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to go to Delhi to tell the governments, the Babaji are impregnating the widows of Vrindavan. Can you imagine? Talking about prior to 37, early part of the 20th century, the Babaji are having sex with the widows. The widows are coming to Vrindavan to find solace. They are being impregnated by the Babaji. Can you imagine the level? It came to such an extent, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati had to go to Delhi to inform the government. So then, to play it safe, he reinstated sannyas order. We are not on the level to wear white, number one, and too many abuses of this white order of Vesh, Babaji Vesh. Play it safe. Let's restore sannyas. Sannyas is below. Play it safe. So, this Babaji Maharaj is not a fake. You have seen. Mahapurush. Siddha Mahatma. In the line of Narottam, he took, his Vesh Guru was Ramananda Brajbasi. And he was extremely solitary, totally away from everything. He lives on the bank of the Ganga, Baral Ghat, in Navadvip. So it's mentioned, people would say, oh, the world has renounced him. No. He has renounced the world. See the difference? Then he has renounced the world. His God deity used to tell him, don't associate with this world. He used to say, because he had very few belongings, copine, it's always K, you will see it's quite interesting. Copine, karanga, and kanta. Copine, you know what it is? Copine means underwear. Kanta means different different pieces of garment. It's always K. Copine, kanta, karanga. So one man asked him, why always you wearing things starting with K? Because he says, I have nothing to do with this outer world. This outer world is Bahiranga, and I'm into Antaranga. So Antaranga is considered K. This world is considered B, Bahiranga. So he answered like this, I have nothing to do. Even whatever I wear is K. You know, he was extremely precise. So he lived in a world of his own. You cannot relate. His world, he had no time, he had no notion of time. He doesn't know whether it's day or night. When you find very advanced devotee, Madhavendra Puri Goshai, he himself doesn't know. Is it day? Is it night? Am I into a pure place? Am I into an impure place? They cannot relate. See, we are differentiating. This is pure, this is impure. On that level, there's no differentiation. There's no question of we are in August, we are on the 5th of August. No, it doesn't exist on that level. They are totally Matmanas tu Mapatam Devin Prakriti Mashitara. They are totally immersed in the internal energy. There is absolutely no relation with the natural world. They cannot relate. So, listen to his belongings. 2 brass pots for his deities, some earthen pots, 1 plate, 1 glass, small cups, panchapatra for his puja, bell, conch shell. Bas. And whatever he has is for his deities. So he would go and beg flowers in the morning, and he would beg rice, and he's cleaning each grain of rice in and of itself, separately. So basically he's getting the bog in the morning, bhiksha, begging, madhukari, and he's kind of cooking around 9 p.m. He's taking the whole day to make the garlands and to clean the rice and the sabji. So sometimes people would tell him, Baba, why don't you cook in the morning also? Who are you? You know, this is my program. Totally beyond. Totally beyond. And then listen to how he relates to his deities. It's even further far out. We cannot relate. So then one Haridas Goswami, those persons are themselves great souls. Haridas Goswami was a great, himself a Siddha. He's telling him, you cook so late, why don't you, perhaps, if I may say, why don't you cook a bit earlier? I don't know, morning or evening. Am I their father's servant? So to feed them at appointed hours? He's talking to his deities. To the boy, he's telling the man, am I their father's servant? Am I their father's servant? Talking about the deities. If they want to eat like that, let them make their own arrangements for cooking. Do you speak to Lord Krishna like this on the old time? Let Gadadhar cook for Gaur. Gadadhar can cook for Gaur. Gadada Pandit. We in Go-Gadada, you have seen in Go-Gadada means the path of Raghunath Bhakti. Go-Nitai we worship Vedi Bhakti. Go-Gadada is path of Raghunath. So he's telling, Gadada can cook for Gaurachandra. Then he goes, Nitai is Avadut. He has no caste. He can go and eat anywhere. I'm worried about my Gopal. Gopal is small. I'm very worried about Gopal. But anyway, a milk cow means a milk cow means a milking cow. She comes every day and feed my Gopal. So Gopal is okay. You can live on that. You can see the arrangement. The internal Shakti is making arrangement for that devotee. The internal Shakti of the Lord is servant of that kind of devotee. Then he goes, I have to worry about my Radha Krishna. Then I have to worry. And for then I cook actually. I cook rice and vegetables. Otherwise they will go to Vrindavan and do Madhukari. So see how he relates to his deities. Not only they are persons, but they are close associates. They are friends. So just imagine his vow with the deities. He's part of the entourage of the deities. He would never lock up his kutir. You leave your house, do you lock up? Of course you do. At least I do. Just go. I go for Bhiksha. Then people will ask him, Baba, why don't you lock up the door? If the owner of the house himself doesn't keep a watch and has a soft corner for the thief, what is the use of locking the house? He said, they are in charge. I'm not in charge. The deities are in charge. They have to take care of themselves. They have to look after the house. I don't even keep the keys with myself. He's giving the key to the deities. He's got 3 keys. Can you imagine? 1 key for Gaunitai, 1 key to Gopal, 1 key to Radha Krishna. And off he goes for Bhiksha. This is Vansidas Babaji Maharaj. He's calling them, I'm entrusting the keys to the boys. He's calling them the boys. They have the keys. So this way I'm free from anxiety. He says, I'm free from anxiety. They have the keys. Sometimes a cow would enter the kutir and damage and ransack the whole place. Everything is topsy-turvy, even the deities. Then he would be angry at the deities. What's wrong with you? Can't you take care of himself? Can't you keep the house neat and tidy? So then he would find the solution. Oh, I understand. Go, Mahaprabhu. He has a soft corner for the Nadiyavasis. The Nadiyavasis means the Navadvip Vasis. So even if a thief comes, he would have a soft corner for the thief. Because himself is a Navadvip Vasi. So I cannot count on Gaur. I cannot depend on him. Because he's a local guy, basically. You know, it's amazing. After all, I'm the outsider. These deities are local, I'm the outsider. Once, can you imagine, even more amazing, a gold necklace is given to Babaji for the sake of his deities. What happened? You were in Bengal 100 years ago. You leave the door of the kutir open with a gold necklace inside. Do you think this necklace is going to stay long? Come back. Where's the gold necklace? He's asking the deities. You please tell me. So he's telling them, Is for 2 hours he's questioning the deities. Where's the gold necklace? You please tell me. He's angry. Then at night, he's getting the hint in his heart. Divyagan Rede Prakashuto. He goes directly to the thief's house, a local guy. Can you imagine? Is exposing the guy. Give me back my necklace, gold necklace. Now, who are you? Is pushing Babaji Maharaj. And then Babaji Maharaj is thinking, how can Gauranga tolerate all this? That night, everyone died in the house. On the spot. Not only the thief, all his family members. You cannot fool around with a devotee of that caliber. You cannot fool around with devotees, that's for sure. What to speak of that caliber? So, Baba is considering Gonitai responsible for the theft. One time, he had 2 brass pots. They disappeared. He used to cook for Gonitai in those brass pots. How could this happen without the connivance of Gonitai? You're thinking Gonitai is part of the plot. He punished the deities. He scolded them. And as a punishment, he didn't feed them. And lo and behold, the punishment has its effect. How come the deities is playing part of that game also? In other words, the deity is following along the mood of that devotee. In other words, the deities become subservient to that devotee. It's totally beyond any realm of bhakti that we know. I'll finish now. It's much longer, but I'll finish. In the next line. So then he's saying, I won't feed you, go. If you want to eat, you bring back the pots that got stolen. That were your pots. Your pot is gone, no cooking. Do we learn that in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu? Is this Vedi Bhakti? Sadhana Bhakti? So Gaur is drawing a long face. Babaji Maharaj is feeding Nitai. Because Lord Nitai is not responsible. So he's feeding Nitai, not Gaur. And further down the day, one guy is bringing back the pots. The thief himself, felt so much guilty out of nowhere. This is the workings of internal energy. It's totally mind-boggling. He's bringing back the pots. Then Babaji is shedding tears. Just like when you chastise your boy too heavily, on the spur of the moment you are too heavy, then you may cry tears towards your boy. I'm sorry, I went over the top. He goes, do I ever want to punish you? Both of you are so naughty. You must always tease me. You don't know that I have become now so old and I cannot bear it all. What can I do? Anyway, I'll stop here because this is totally transcendental. It goes for a few pages. So this is only happening, he left in 1944. So we can see, we should not always misconstrue that everyone is on our level. Atmanavan manyate jagat. I'm on that level, I assume that everyone is pretty much on my level. No. Even today itself, who knows? There may be devotee of that caliber. And this is the highest form of bhakti. It's Paramasiddha. Paramasiddha. Siddha Mahatma. Any question? Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu.
I've got just one point I read about Babaji. When he put deities in a Ganga, he simultaneously, from external point, he expressed anger, but internally he served to deities because it was so hot and they want to refresh themselves in Ganga. So externally it was like punishment, but internally it was service. I think it was Radha Krishna.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yes, Prabhu, thank you for that point. Yes?
He used to put his deities under his armpit and jump in the Ganga as well. Go on the tile on one side, go around on one side, the tile on the other side, armpit, jump in the Ganga also. It is written in one of his books.
Yeah, there's actually, if you want to read further, you read that book of Bhakti Vikash.
Yeah.
Maharaj. Little booklet. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. All glory to the Prabhupada. Shri Raghunandan Thakur ki. Vamsidas Bahaji Maharaj ki. Go open the Krishna.
Je me demande pourquoi ils sont dans ce mariage. Pourquoi ils viennent?
Baba Janandé.
Parce qu'ils ne prêchent pas.
Sagesse pour montrer l'exemple, pour montrer ce que ça peut donner le top niveau